Hello and welcome to my channel Earthophilic. Today we are going to start a really interesting series that is New 7 Wonders of the World. Built on 4 continents, most by ancient and medieval empires, the sites are all structural marvels of enormous scale and are among the most visited tourist attraction in the world. But what makes a site a wonder? Are you also wondering? Then let's explore our first entry, the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is the world's longest wall and biggest ancient architecture. It has a stunning array of scenery from the beaches of Qinhuangdao to rugged mountains around Beijing to a desert corridor between tall mountain ranges. Great Wall of China is one of the largest building construction project ever undertaken. The Great Wall consists of numerous walls, many of them parallel to each other, built over some 2 millennia across northern China and southern Mongolia, with a total length of around 21,000 kilometers, equal to half the length of the equator. The Great Wall of China is the longest feat of human engineering. The Great Wall is about 2,700 years old. More than 10 lakh laborers were recruited for the construction of this huge project. The Great Wall developed from the desperate border fortification and castles of individual Chinese kingdoms. These 7 kingdoms were at constant war with each other. Finally, the Qin dynasty defeated all the rivals and made unified China. Around 221 BC, Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of unified China under the Qin dynasty, ordered those earlier fortifications between states to be removed and several existing walls along the northern border be joined into a single system and protect China against attack from the north. Construction of the Great Wall was one of the most ambitious building projects ever undertaken by any civilization. The famous Chinese general Mang Tiang directed the project and was said to have used a massive army of soldiers, convicts, and commoners as workers. Made mostly of earth and stone, the wall stretched from China's seaport of Shanghai Guan over 3,000 miles west into Gansu province. The Great Wall in the Han Dynasty was the longest version of the wall ever. It starts from today's North Korea in the east and extends to Xinjiang in the west, with a total length of over 10,000 kilometers. The Han Dynasty was an important era in the development of Chinese history. It was a more stable period when China expanded its territory and traded with the West via the Silk Road. The Great Wall of the Han Dynasty was mostly built by 121 BC to defend against harassment from the Mongol Empire Xiongnu, consolidate frontiers, and protect trade relationships with countries in West Asia. The Great Wall concept was revived again under the Ming in the 14th century. Despite its long history, the Great Wall of China, as it is existing today, was constructed mainly during the mighty Ming Dynasty. The early Ming rulers had little interest in building border fortifications, and wall building were limited before the late 15th century. The construction of the Great Wall, as it is known today, began around 1474. After an initial phase of territorial expansion, Ming rulers took a largely defensive stance, and their reformation and extension of the Great Wall was key to this strategy. Unlike the earlier fortifications, the Ming construction was stronger and more elaborate due to the use of brick and stone instead of rampant earth. Up to 25,000 watchtowers are estimated to have been constructed on the wall. The Ming Wall extended from the Yalu River in Liaoning province to the eastern bank of the Taolai River in Gansu province. The average height of the wall is 7.8 meters and the average width is 5 meters. Every 500 meters or less on the Great Wall there was a flanking tower allowing defenders to shoot arrows at attackers at the face of the wall. The altitudes of the walls vary. The highest point of the Great Wall is in Beijing at Hita Mountain at 1500 meters and the lowest point is at Lao Long Tao at sea level. Fortresses were built at important access points such as Shanghai Pass Fortress and Xiaoyu Pass Fortress. There were many archery windows and gates on the forts. The fortress gatehouse were the strongest and the most secure structure on the Great Wall. The Great Wall of China is threatened with erosion. The northwestern section of the Great Wall are deteriorating so quickly. It is believed that these sections may disappear within 20 years due to demolishment by nature and human. Between the 18th and 20th century, the Great Wall emerged as the most common emblem of China for the Western world, and a symbol both physical as a manifestation of Chinese strength and the physiological representation of the barrier maintained by the Chinese state to repel foreign influence and exert control over its citizens. Today, the Great Wall is generally recognized as one of the most impressive architectural feats in human history. In 1987, UNESCO designated the Great Wall a World Heritage Site. Over the years, roadways have been cut through the wall in various points, and many sections have deteriorated after centuries of neglect. The best-known section of the Great Wall of China, Badaling, located northwest of Beijing, was rebuilt in the late 1950s and attracts thousands of national and international tourists every day. Let's talk about the facts and myth of the Great Wall of China. It cannot be seen from the moon. It was Robert Ripley, the American illustrator who made fortune with his cartoon feature, Believe It or Not, who called the Great Wall the mightiest work of human, the only one that would be visible to human eye from the moon. The truth was established once and for all during the first Chinese space flight in 2003, when astronaut Yang Levey called he couldn't see anything of it from orbit. The Chinese don't call the wall the Great Wall. The Chinese term for the wall emerges from the distant past, long before the Great Wall was used, when every city had its wall. So fundamental was the connection between the walls and cities that the Chinese used one word to cover them both, and they still do. The wall, of course, is rather more than a city wall. So Chinese adds an adjective, not great, but long. So the Chinese for the Great Wall, Changcheng, means long city or the long wall. The wall you know and love is not as old as you think. The wall is widely thought to date back 2000 years to just after 221 BC, when China was first unified. Almost everything which is that old is no more than a mound of earth. The popular idea of the wall derives from the stone battlemented structure built by the Ming dynasty. Its maximum age is about 500 years. It was not built to repel Mongols. The wall was commissioned by the first emperor Qin Shi Huang around 221 BC, long before the emergence of the Mongols around 800 AD. The threat then was the Xiongnu kingdom. The wall does not contain corpses. Ancient rumors speak of laborers being buried in the wall. These probably emanated from a chief historian of the Han dynasty, Sima Qian, who criticized his emperor by overlooking his Qin ancestors. However, no bones have ever been found in the wall, and there is no evidence, written or archaeological, for the slander. It never stopped an invasion. The wall was easily overrun or avoided by northern tribes. In 1449, the Mongols inflicted a defeat on the Ming south of the wall. It fell to the Manchus in 1644 when a local Ming general opened the far eastern gate, Shanghai Huan, to the invaders. The Great Wall of China is one of the greatest sights in the world, the longest wall in the world, an awe-inspiring feat of ancient defensive architecture. The Great Wall has been incorporated into Chinese mythology and popular symbolism, and in the 20th century, it came to be regarded as a national symbol. So that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. So please don't forget to like it. Also, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for future updates. If you have any other interesting information about the Great Wall, please write it in the comment box and help the community. I will meet you guys with my next video. Till then, bye bye and take care of yourself.